Hey everybody, it's Tim Tialdo, author of Host Your Own TV Show, and welcome to the third and final video in the free training series. And I just want to thank you for staying this long and engaging with me. And you know, those first two videos that we did on how to create a demo reel and how to craft your bio, I hope you got a lot out of those. And if you're an action taker, I hope you're somebody who has started working on those things. Now today is our third and final video, and we're going to talk about 5 strategies to build a dominant social media platform. Now those 5 things are increasing social reach. Number 2 is how to increase fan engagement with content. Number 3 is identifying and engaging influencers. Number 4 is increasing lead generation. And then number 5 is you want to check analytics and you really want to know what's working. I mean, that's why we're doing this whole thing, so we'll talk about that. Now, we all know that the number of social networks are blowing up, it seems like by the day anymore, but most experts and research still show that the most successful media platforms, and social media that is, are the big 3. And I'm talking about Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Now, Facebook alone has over 800 million users, and I found this really interesting. 50% of those users log in every day. Now, Twitter, I think they get something like 250 million tweets a day, and then there's YouTube, which is now, and I didn't know this, it's the second biggest search engine on the internet, period. Guess what number 1 is? Yes, Google. Now, there are big differences between the 3, but they all bring a unique way for you to kind of, successfully attract new fans and followers to what you're doing. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at those big 3, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and I'm going to teach you 5 basic strategies right behind me here to help you generate success in growing your personal brand and then generating new fans and followers so you have an audience that wants to watch you. So let's start with strategy number 1, and that is increasing your social reach. Now, what is social reach? Well, it's the total number of people that you can reach by combining all your social networks. So take Facebook plus Twitter plus YouTube. So your fans plus your followers plus any YouTube people that are following you as well. That would equal the total amount of your social reach. Now, if you want to keep track of your social reach, I recommend that you do, and it's really going to help you. And there's websites like Klout that kind of tell you how you're doing in that. Now, social reach is about having a targeted group of people that you can market yourself to. So if you don't have reach, guess what? You don't have any traction and you can't get anywhere. So the first step you have to do is you have to find those people. And to do this, what you need to be doing is joining in on conversations, on the social channels where people that you're interested in having as fans are hanging out. So if that has to do with TV hosting or any kind of expertise or show that you're dealing with, find out where those people are hanging out that would watch you. And then I'm going to give you 6 tips right now that you can use across that big 3 to increase your social reach. Number 1 is I want you to completely update your profile, okay? Completely update your profile. Show the most current stuff that you have going on so people have a sense of who you are and what you're doing right now. Don't put that job at the top of your profile that you were doing 5 years ago just because it was the coolest job you had. If you're not doing a lot right now, that's okay. Just put whatever you're doing so people know, what you're doing, and maybe they want to hire you and they want to know, are they free right now? Are they under a contract? They just want to know if they can get you. So make sure that you're putting your current stuff up there. Number 2, and I'll put 1 up there again, is I want you to use your top keywords. Now, what do I mean by that? Top keywords. Well, okay, so let's just say, for instance, you are in fashion, okay? So you want people to find you that are looking for things like, what are the latest trends in clothing, or hair, or makeup, or shoes. Those are the things that you want to be known for, and you want to work those things into your social profile. So what this does is it reinforces what's called search engine optimization, and most of you people probably know that as SEO, SEO rank. And in Google, this makes it easier for people to find you who are using search engines. So if they type in, what's the hottest trends in, blouses this year, and I don't even know if blouse is a term girls use anymore. Maybe they'll find you because you've put that term into your top keywords. So does that make sense? Number 3, show that you are social. Show you are social. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, as you start investing your time in social marketing, make sure that all your posts, if you're doing ads, that's great, blogs, whatever point it is, I want you to be pointing people to those 3 platforms, your Facebook, your Twitter, and your YouTube. And this means that you can do things like adding social icons and links to your website. So if you look on mine, I have a big Twitter, a big Facebook, a big Pinterest, a big LinkedIn. I use all those things. Make sure they link to your sites, your social media sites. You can put them in your email signatures, advertisements if you're doing something like that. People like to click on links when they have free time, so basically all I want you to do is give them something to click on so they can find you, okay? Number 4 is help spread your content. Help spread your content. And you're thinking, well, don't other people help me spread my content? And that's exactly what I mean by that. Add sharing buttons to everything that you're doing. So I want you to be encouraging people to share, to embed, to tweet, to email things to a friend. This is what's called a call to action. And this is a key element that helps your content continually gain social traction. We talked about reach and traction. You need that traction. Number 5, make friends. And if you can't read this, you can go back through it and obviously write down what I'm doing, because my handwriting is just awesome, as we have found out to this point. Identify who the influencers are in your industry. So I want you to like them, I want you to follow them, I want you to share their content whenever possible and whenever it's relevant to your brand and what you're trying to do. And if you interact with those influencers, guess what? You might be able to develop a relationship with them, and when you do that, you're going to be able to find more people who are like you, who are fans of the type of content that you're producing, and that's going to help you. Number 6, and this relates back to what we were talking about in crafting your bio. It was step number 6 there, and it's step number 6 here. Be human. Now, when people comment on your stuff or share your stuff or interact with your posts, you need to do this. You need to show them that there's an actual person behind them, because the moment you just become some computerized, automated poster, you're going to lose traction in your ability to attract fans. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're using an automated site like Hootsuite, and you're posting across all of your profiles, that's great. But I just want to make sure that you're monitoring and interacting with people, because if they're commenting on them and you don't say anything back, they're going to be like, well, why should I follow this person? Now let's get to YouTube. Now, YouTube takes a little more time and effort to populate with content than Twitter or Facebook, but using video is so powerful, and it'll help grow your brand substantially. I just read a statistic that having a video on your website actually increases your chances of appearing on the first page of Google when people are searching for things by 53 times. That's huge. So you want to be adding videos, and videos, they help optimize things. They show up higher in search engines like Google and Bing. And you do this by giving them the appropriate title and tag and describe your video using keywords. So, when you're creating a YouTube video, you'll see under it, and your video manager, there's a little box that says tags. And under tags, you can put all these keywords that we've been talking about. If you were in fashion, you want to be putting anything that has to do with your industry. And I mean, even if it's the most remote description you can possibly think of, it's still something that somebody could find you by. So don't, if you want to put 100 keywords, that's awesome. If you want to put 20, that's great. But the more you do, the more chances that people are going to find you. Now, let's move on to strategy number 2. Let me pick up my eraser here. Now, what do you think strategy number 2 is? Do you remember from the top of the video? It's increasing fan engagement. Now, we just covered a little bit of how to do that, and interacting with people. But how do you continue to increase it? So, developing a strategy for creating content is critical to this. And your fans and followers, they pay attention to powerful content. And what I mean by that is, this is stuff that is funny or emotional or controversial or empathetic. You need to be able to strike a chord with your followers. And above all, make sure it's genuine. Make sure it's in line with what you usually talk about, your voice, your brand, your audience. So here's a few quick tips for fan engagement if you're dealing with Facebook. 1, I want you to use proven strategies. And proven strategies are things like asking questions. Ask for opinions without directly asking for comments or likes. Don't say like my stuff, because nobody likes that, because everybody does that. So the better your posts, the deeper the engagement. And keep in mind that fans are more likely to respond to three things: videos, photos, and links. I check my analytics all the time, and I think photos are probably the most responded to thing on my Facebook post, because I tend to post positive photos, and some of you who follow my Facebook fan page know that. People respond to that stuff and share it like crazy, and it goes viral. So be looking for those three things: videos, photos, and links. Next thing is, I want you to publish at least once daily. And I want to make sure you're interacting with other fan pages. So if there's people who fan you that have their own fan pages, I want you to fan them back, and I want you to interact with them, because it's that law of reciprocity. If people are interacting with you, you want to interact back. You feel that need to say, you know what, I'll help you because you're helping me. And then finally, and I just talked about this, check the stats on your Facebook Insights page. And you'll quickly see that the posts with significant traction are the ones that are shared, that are commented on, that are in other fans' news feeds. Those are the ones that go viral, and once again, they're those three things I talked about: videos, photos, and links. All right, let's talk about strategy number 3, and that is to identify and engage influencers. Okay, so influence has many facets. It encompasses your perceived status, your reputation, your authority, maybe your rank online. And it also means that you probably motivate others. You're perceived as an expert or a leader. Influencers themselves can be found both within your current fan base and outside of it as well. And you need to understand how your brand can add value to them. And then I want you to continue to monitor and measure and evolve into actually approaching other influencers to help you. Now, I know there's influential people all over Facebook, but the tricky part is actually finding them and tracking them down. And one way to find them on Facebook in particular is to use tools like Kred, and that's spelled K-R-E-D, and Klout. So Kred, K-R-E-D, and Klout is spelled with a K, K-L-O-U-T. Okay? And these will help you research experts by topic area. And since I've been talking about fashion so much, I'll just stick with that. So if you typed in fashion, it would help you find the big experts that are getting a lot of the discussions. And you can monitor those discussions to identify those people that are frequently posting. So now, let's move on to Twitter. Now, to find influencers on Twitter, there's a tool called Listorious. Let me just get rid of this so you can see it. Listorious, L-I-S-T-O-R-I-O-U-S. Listorious. And you can actually find influential people by topic there as well. So it's kind of the Klout of Twitter as compared to Facebook. Now, once you've identified a handful of influencers, you can use Twitter's similar to this person feature. You've probably seen that when you log on to Twitter, and that you can grow your list that way. When you find people that are similar, you can just follow them and you can follow what they're doing. Now, what's great is you can also create a private list comprised of the influencers and monitor their content. And then when somebody else engages with a person maybe who's not on your list, let's say, you can quickly add them. Now, remember, this process is always active, and you should always be on the lookout for new influencers. So once again, on Twitter, use Listorious. Okay, now YouTube, as it is with everything else, is a little more challenging because there are fewer tools available than on Facebook or Twitter. But a great first step to find influencers on YouTube is to browse the video categories and then find users within the topic that you're focusing on. And then you just subscribe to their channel, and then you can check your homepage on YouTube every day to see what activities your subscribed channels are putting out. So I subscribe to several different channels. One of them is a Tony Robbins channel, and I'm always seeing new things that he's posting, and it kind of helps me keep track of, where is he at in the world? What's he talking about? What are the new greatest things that he's unveiling? So I hope that makes sense to you. Now, strategy number 4 is increasing lead generation. Increasing lead generation. Now, I know this sounds like a sales term, and you're like, where are we going with this? But it's true just as much in our world of TV hosting as it is in any other. So with lead generation and social media, it's important to think more like a kind of like a customer and less like a marketer or a salesperson, because this means that you want to be helpful. You're not selling your stuff to people, you're helping them solve a problem. And even if that means recommending somebody else's stuff, show them that you care about them. And this means that you are monitoring conversations, you're responding fairly to any criticism if you get any, you're answering questions, you're spreading good news. So if somebody does something great, I want you to tell everybody else on your fan list about it. It's that law of reciprocity. We've talked about it a little bit. It's going to kick in, and it's going to help people want to give back to you as well. And make sure you're giving valuable content to your fans, because you need to be asking yourself this question: why are fans looking at my social media profile? So figure out what they're looking for and then deliver relevant content. So why are they your fan? Just because you asked them to be, or because they actually want to be there and enjoy what you're posting? So don't focus on a sales pitch. Don't tell people to like your stuff and all that jazz. This is only going to cause people to want to ignore you and kind of tune you out. And instead, I want you to focus on building a relationship with your fans over time. So talk to them rather than at them. And then another thing you need to do is you need to know who your competitors are. And some of you probably don't like to focus on who your competitors are, but this is actually a special step. You need to monitor what they're doing and saying. And here's why. Look at the feedback and responses from their fans, and then what that's going to help you do is adjust your efforts to stay relevant and engaged with them. And Twitter is actually an awesome platform to follow buzz around the industry, and I do it in my industry, which is TV hosting. And one way to do this on Twitter is monitor your competitors' buzz and kind of see if there's any negative mentions or maybe dissatisfied fans. And guess what that does? You just found an opportunity to introduce yourself and help out those fans by starting a new relationship, saying, you know what, they couldn't help you with that, but I can, and here's what I can do. Make sense? Okay, let's move on to YouTube now. And there's a few things you can do, but once again, it's a little more challenging, but you can increase lead generation. So what I want you to do is I want you to start each video description with a URL that leads to kind of a landing page, like maybe your personal website or one of your other social media pages. So when people are watching your video, if you have a link on there that leads to, let's say, your Facebook fan page, that's going to help. And then I want you to add a specific call to action at the end of each video. So what that means is if I end this video and I say, now go to timtialdo.com and I've got something free for you. You think you probably want to go to my website? Probably so, because you want something for free. So point viewers to your website or your social media profiles, ask them to follow you on Twitter or Facebook, or maybe even suggest related videos for them to watch next, even if they aren't yours. And then include a link in the video description where users can contact you. So I always write a description of the video, and then at the end I just put my website. If you want to learn more about Tim or contact him, you just go to timtialdo.com. Be sure to describe why they should click on the link. For example, it could say, for more information, click here, or do you need more help? Just contact me here. Okay, so that is strategy number 4. So let's talk about strategy number 5. And I talked about this at the beginning, and that is to check analytics. And this really is probably the most important thing to do after you're really working on your networking, because with all the hard work that you're putting into marketing yourself on the big 3, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, you want to know what's working and you want to know what isn't, because to do this, you have to use analytics to measure your success. And what this is going to do is it's going to help you understand the growth of your fan base, or maybe the lack thereof, and it's going to tell you if your content's engaging, if other influencers are supporting you, and if you're driving people to your platforms. I mean, it's important to do this all the time to continuously optimize the return on your efforts. So for instance, every morning at 6:30 a.m. through Hootsuite, I post a photo. It's just a motivational, positive photo that just has a good saying on it. And I'm always going back through and I'm trying to figure out which photos are getting the most traction, because if I have a day where maybe it's a holiday or something where I don't really have time to post something, or I'm on vacation or something, I'll go back and I'll repost those because I know they were successful before and they'll continue to be successful again, and they'll create that virality that we talked about. Now, on Facebook, we talked earlier about the Insights page. This is a useful tool in measuring how you're doing. Make sure you use that. On Twitter, they actually send you a weekly influence report summary. It kind of tells you how many new followers you have or how many you've lost, if that's the case. And then on YouTube, it's very simple. In your video manager, you can actually see how many views, likes, or comments that your videos are getting. So there you have it, folks. 5 strategies to get your social media platform off to a strong start so you can really start developing a fan base and attracting more followers, and ultimately begin being recognized by the right people to help you grow your hosting career. Because if somebody sees your video and says, you know, that guy did a really good job. I'm going to send him to my friend. And you know, who knows where that goes. That's actually how Justin Bieber was discovered, because somebody saw it, sent it to somebody else, sent it to somebody else, and guess what? It ended up in Ellen DeGeneres' hands, and now the kid's a superstar. He is a rock star, but he's a superstar. So I hope that kind of gives you an idea of how this can help you to get yourself out there. So I hope this free video training series has been incredibly helpful for you. I hope it has served your needs. It's introduced you to some things that you didn't already know, and most of all, I hope it inspired you to take action and get moving. Because like I say at the end of all my videos, the only way to predict your future is to go out and create it. Now, in the meantime, please keep an eye on my webpage, and don't forget to follow me on social media, because I'm going to be posting great stuff like this frequently. And my mission is to help all of you who want to be hosts to make it big in this business. So God bless you on your journey, and I hope to meet you one day. Take care.